Just welcome back. In this video, I'm going to go ahead and configure posture assessment. And one of the features that was introduced in ISE 2.2 is application visibility, being able to make dynamic, being able to see everything that's running on the endpoint, the applications installed, being able to make dynamic policy conditions based on what we're seeing on the endpoints itself. It's actually really cool. The configuration to get that is just the same as posturing. So I'm going to kind of walk you through this, and at the end I'll change it over to something real to kind of show posturing. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and jump over to we're going to have to start building our conditions for our policy. So I'm going to go to policy, conditions, and posture. So I want to go ahead and see what everyone is what everyone has running on their machine. So this is going to be just straight up check for applications. And the operating system, Windows, all. And we're going to check by, in this case, I'll just go ahead and say application, installed and running. And you can even get pretty granular on, like, the name of the if you want to check certain vendors, or you just want to grab categories, or I'm just going to grab everything. So I'm going to submit that, and the next thing I'm going to have to do is, give me a second. So I'm going to have to create a result on that. So I go to posture. These are requirements, and a lot of these you won't see, but I'm going to go ahead and insert a new requirement, and this is just going to be check. This is going to be application visibility. I'm going to select the operating system is going to be Windows. 4.x and later. If you want to run AnyConnect as a stealth service, you can actually choose that here, but I'm not going to do so. User defined condition, which is the one we just created, which is check for applications. And the remediation option is thank you for sharing. Yep. Please download AnyConnect. Connect. So now we have application visibility there. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start configuring kind of our client provisioning. So client provisioning and AnyConnect or posturing are tied together. You can create the information on how this the endpoint agent that's going to be deployed. You can use like the NAC agent, which is essentially a little lightweight agent, or the web agent that's the dissolvable one, but you don't get as many features. So if you wanted to like download the latest posture modules and everything and compliance modules from Cisco, you can just go here. I've already done that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to upload AnyConnect up here. So ISE has the package. We're going to grab it right off of here, the web deploy package. Perfect. This is for Windows. I already have it installed in my, and it'll just confirm the hash, which, in most cases, if you download off the web, you're fine. And so we have to make sure that it knows which AnyConnect version you're going to be installing if you have it deployed via ISE. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and configure my NAC or AnyConnect profile, which in this case we're just going to call this AC Connect. And let's see, the only thing I need to do down here is just put a star. I'm not going to change anything else. There's a lot of timers you can tune, but usually the default and just put a star there will let it connect to any ISE server on the LAN. And after we've created that, we tie it to the AnyConnect package and that profile we just created together in an AnyConnect configuration. So we choose that package we just uploaded. We're going to call this AC configuration. The compliance module, since I said I downloaded that before, I'm just picking 4.2 whatever. I'm going to make sure it's start before login and ISE postures in there. For ISE posture, we're going to pick our AC profile. And as you can see here, you can actually include a lot more, but in this case, I just want the ISE posture enabled, essentially. And you can also, if the user previously had the NAC agent, have that uninstalled, create customized bundles, minimum versions of AnyConnect to force them into. But I'm just going to keep it very, very simple here and get you directly to where you need to be. So next thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go to policy and posture, and we're going to create a posture rule. So we created the condition and the result. Now we're going to tie it together in a posture policy. Application visibility. So this is what it's going to take to be compliant. And in this case, we're going to say any identity group operating system is Windows. Compliance module is 4.x or later. I'm not going to worry about stealth mode. Create a new condition. We're going to say, this is going to be for wired, so device type equals switches. And the requirements are that application visibility requirement. So just, I need to see those applications. Click that as save. That's what is defined as compliant, essentially. And client provisioning portion, this is the part where, okay, how do we make sure that the AnyConnect module is installed, or the AnyConnect module is pointing pointed towards the correct ISE server. So let's go ahead and create a new policy above, and this is going to be when posture wired. We're going to go ahead and make sure it's Windows. Don't need any other conditions. And what kind of agent do we want to use? So we're going to use the AC configuration. That was, specifying they need to have the VPN module and the posture module installed. That it is the profile that's downloaded is to go ahead and point towards any ISE server in the LAN. And condition. I'm actually going to create a new condition. I'm going to make sure it's wired as well. I'm just going to get really specific. Device type equals switches. Cool. So we're good there. And last but not least, we're going to go ahead and create a client provisioning rule or ACL. So there is an ACL that you have to create on the switch or wireless controller, or even say if you're doing posturing through that. But it is something that has to be locally on the NAD. So if I can do my password. Oh, I still have the demo user. That's why. If anyone who's watching my my videos from earlier would notice that I was testing out some different things with TACX and ISE. So let's go ahead and go into these bad boys. Let's create a new ACL. So IP access list is going to be I want to make sure they're both spelled exactly. I don't fat finger anything, so I'm just going to start off here. So the ports that have to be enabled, it's just like your redirect ACL. So you've got to deny everything that you want to not redirect. So in this case, boot PC to any equals boot server, DHCP server. Deny UDP any equal domain. Deny UDP any host. One, and there's a couple different ports that you need to make sure that are enabled. So UDP 8905. Now we're going to do TCP 8905. Next we're going to do UDP 8909. TCP 8909. And last but not least, 8443. permit IP any. Perfect. Now I'm just going to dump the rest of this so I don't repeat myself into the next do write mem. Do write mem. Log off. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create an authorization profile that will redirect anyone that's that essentially is not posture compliant over to this compliance or this to ISE to be a check for compliance. So let's go ahead and say client provisioning. We're going to go over here to web redirection, client provisioning for posture, using that ACL that's local on the switch. Submit. Now we're going to tie it all together in our existing policy. So go down to, let's go to our existing policy, and I'm going to create a rule right underneath this guy. It's a duplicate rule before. Non-compliant AD users. Now I'm going to go ahead and change this to domain user, and this is just going to be kind of a catch-all rule if it's a corporate machine and they're just not compliant. That way I don't hit my deny any at the very bottom. So we're going to say it's not network access. It's actually going to be session posture status equals non-compliant, or we can say unknown. I believe it'll be unknown. Done. Oh, actually, not so done. Let's go ahead and change this over to client provisioning. Now it's done. Next thing we'll do is we're going to go ahead and add one more condition over here. So we're going to say add condition or value, session, posture status equals compliant. Done. Session, posture status equals compliant. So we want everything to show as compliant. Bear with me while I finish this up. Equals compliant. Done. And I'll leave it at that. So let's go have some fun with this thing. So let's go ahead and sign right in. So I've been taken to posture compliance status, and it should be checking network compliance. Should allow me right on. Compliance allowed. Perfect. And let's see what it looks like in context visibility. Now this is the cool, really cool. So there's my one little, and actually, hold on a second, I've been having some problems with Firefox today, so I actually meant to change this over to, with Chrome today, so I meant to change this over to Firefox before the video. All right, so let's go to compliance and let's see the one compliant device, which is my only device connected. So we've got 26 installed applications, 4 running applications. I can check based on different applications, or types. So I can see the unclassified ones, as you can see here. If I wanted to jump into the endpoint itself, I can see everything that's running and the endpoints, the applications installed, the processes that are associated with that. If I wanted to kind of create a policy based on app compliance, boom, I can just jump right into that. So, to sit there and make changes to kill a process or make sure that something's running, do some manual remediation types. So it gives us some pretty cool ways to kind of dynamically change our policies on the fly. And this part, posturing was in ISE prior to 2.2, but this application visibility, just being able to see everything that's running on that PC, kind of having that deeper visibility, that is actually fairly new. And I'm really thinking that this part is just it's key. It's having the ability to see what's on the endpoints. Like if you see BitTorrent pop up on corporate PCs, you can just dynamically create a policy that makes sure that those are killed or uninstalled from those devices, and dynamically create that, change that policy as you're going, instead of making it a big long process to do so. Now, I'm sure that it's probably not the easiest thing sometimes to follow along, and I showed you a lot on the configuration side. So let me go ahead and pull up my whiteboard really quickly and show you, how these different components of the policy I created before work. So just give me one moment while I go ahead and bring up the whiteboard. All right. So sorry, I was had to jump off of here to grab my Surface. So let me go ahead and kind of full screen it. So I showed you quite a bit of things to configure. Let's start with just the basics of what we were talking about with policy creation. You've got your conditions, and they equal a result in ISE. Now, I think that the confusing part of creating, to most people, for creating posture results is there's kind of 3 sets of conditions and 3 sets of results. So you first have the posture conditions and results that you have to create. So you have to create a set of conditions and results. And in this case, when we were creating that, so I'll kind of show you where we did that. So conditions, what needs to be checked, results, what happens, at a very basic level at least. So in this case, when we were going through the configuration before, when we were going through the configuration before, originally we jumped into policy, and we'll jump out of this, and under profiling conditions, this is where we defined our application visibility. We created this. And then under results, we tied that application visibility to, we brought up what the result would be for that. So this would be the requirements. So here we tied that towards the remediation actions, which in this case, there's no need for remediation action. I just wanted that visibility, but you can have all sorts of remediation actions, as you can see here. You can have file remediations, firewall ones. You can make sure that certain things are changed. I'm not going to worry about that, but these are things that kind of fit with that narrative of what happens. You take those that condition and the hardest part is kind of wrapping your mind around that. You just in the results kind of tied that posture condition already to the result, but you still have to kind of go back. You still have to go back here to the policy, and under posture, you tie it all together in the actual, like you tie the conditions for the rest of the network, like what operating system and conditions like what device or anything else is tied to that result. So it's a little harder for most to wrap their minds around because they're kind of feel like they're making conditions and tie them to results twice, but essentially you are. So just make sure that you go to policy elements first, go to conditions, results for both posture, and then go back to the policy for posture, and make sure that works. So create conditions, create result, create policy. The next thing you have to do is create the client provisioning policy, which is a little bit different. Client provisioning. And it's much of the same thing. So the first thing we went to was under client our policy elements is we go to conditions, and in this case, actually, yeah, I apologize. Actually, I went to results first, client provisioning, and in this case, we had to create first. We uploaded the AnyConnect. So we went to results. Results. Uploaded AnyConnect package. Make sure compliance modules are downloaded. I'd actually probably say that's more important to do before you start any of this because it would update it would update what conditions could possibly be available in the posture side. But I'll just kind of group it together, that client provisioning. And the next thing we would do in here is we create the posture profile, which is just saying, hey, we're going to let connect to any ISE server. Posture profile, and then tie it together with AnyConnect configuration. And then the last thing we would do for client provisioning is we went to essentially, again, policy, client provisioning, and we created the client provisioning policy. So we create client provisioning policy. Last thing we do is we tie it to our real world, like, enforceable policy, because all of this beforehand, nothing is enforced yet. Nothing enforced yet. So this is the part where we just tie it to something that actually has real world application. So tying to access policy, and that we added the client provisioning ACL. We created the web redirect auth z profile. Put that web redirect as a catch-all. And last but not least, we enforced posture compliance on our other rules. So, sorry, that was a lot to write out, but what we did was very quick. I timed it, and it does take a bit to learn, but you know, we did it in under 15 minutes essentially, and but understanding that is probably the hardest part of ICE, to be honest. I think of everything I configure in ICE, everything has a little bit more of an intuitive flow. I think that probably the hardest to kind of wrap your mind around is this flow of creating posture conditions. So you have to, create the posture conditions, the results, then you tie it together in a posture policy, but nothing's being enforced yet. You still, and even if you just try to enforce posture compliance, still wouldn't work until you go ahead and configure this. So, and client provisioning almost, doesn't sound intuitive. Why is it helping out with posturing? But when you start to dig into it a little more, it makes more sense. So then you configure this, but it's still not doing anything yet. It's not until you take all that stuff that you configured with, and again, it's the initial configuration that's the hardest. After you configure like the client provisioning portal, you have no need to actually configure it again after that. I mean, there's not much changing with your unless you're just upgrading an AnyConnect endpoint, but even then, it's not too terribly bad. And your posture conditions, while they can sometimes change, they're not really that hard to keep track of. I mean, you can create some very vague ones like ensure that have AV installed. And in fact, I'll even show you guys what AV installed would look like. So give me, I can change the policy on the fly really quickly by just going ahead and I'll grab results. Let's go ahead and create one for it's a new requirement, any AV. And this one I will definitely fail because I don't have I don't think I have any AV installed anywhere in my deployment. So this one's actually like checking for any antivirus installed is kind of like a default policy you have, but you can get really granular on certain types of AV and everything else. But I'm just going to go ahead and check. Let's see. Let me create it over here. Yeah, I'm going to discard that. So go to posture, AV. And I guess as you can see here, there's a lot I can pick from it. So I can go Windows, pick any, but if you want to go pick a specific vendor, again, I want this to fail. So let's go ahead and just say Panda software, and any version of Panda software has to be installed, or we can check a certain definition, but I'll just say Panda. And then we'll go back to our results and create a new result, and we're going to insert a new requirement, Panda. Operating system is going to be for Windows. Compliance module, sure, 4. This is a user created one. This one was a AV. Actually, I think I might have to have any version. Sorry, I was looking at a different I think this one should work. All right, Panda. So, and then the remediation is going to be a message text box. No Panda, no access. Okay, so let's click save, and we'll go tie this with our posture. Let's go ahead and edit this really quickly, and let's go ahead and add a second requirement of, I don't need to have that, I can just do the Panda, click save. And let's go ahead and bounce this port real quickly. Shut, no shut. All right, let's see what happens when I fail compliance. Oh, I'm still showing as compliant. Let me check my policy really quickly. I think it's because I'm still on compliance module 3 on some places, so let me make sure I've kind of, I think I need a different AC profile really quickly to make that work. Typically you're not having a switch between this, but I'm trying to prove a point, so I apologize while I'm kind of making you guys follow along with me here. So let's go to any connect configuration, compliance module 3.x. Submit. We'll go back to client provisioning and make sure that the AC connection is just back to what we wanted it. Now it should go towards the correct compliance module I wanted. Let's see what happens. See, it changes to the other compliance module, and let's see. No Panda, no access. So as you can see here, this is kind of an example of where we can quickly change it around, and we can do a lot of things where we can make them go to a splash page. We could send them to a server to download this, you know, or we can just like give them a internet only access while they correct it. But essentially, you get the idea. I just wanted to show you some of the different options you can do to at least see this stuff. I don't want to boil the ocean and show you every feature with posture, but it can be easy once you get the flow. Anyways, if you guys got through this video, test this out. You've just probably done one of the hardest things that can be done with ISE. And once you wrap your mind around it, I don't think anything else in ISE should intimidate you. Well, thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.